On today's show, we're going to be joined by Extreme Shox from Northern Italy to take a closer look at exactly what goes into some high-end e-mountain bike suspension. So EXT have just launched an e-bike specific shock absorber, and the man behind Extreme Shox is someone who is widely regarded to be one of the boffins of suspension, Franco Fratton. So as you can imagine, we were super keen to catch up with him. So Franco, for people who might be new to Extreme Shox, could you maybe give a brief summary of your philosophy of damping, please?
Good question.
It's not brief, is it?
No, just as somebody from the industry, we had Paul last week, and somehow he was trying to hint that we have some kind of secret, and that the damper are working so good, as this is what people say. And I was just saying, no, we have no secret, it's no magic. I think we practice good way to work. We adapt the different requirement from this industry to what is our knowledge. So for sure we do something that is very specific for the application. We measure a lot. So we try to measure a lot the bike, we try to measure a lot the bike on the field, what is happening, how it's doing, and after we apply what we think it is the best way to manufacture a damper or a fork now, okay, with what we have understood. So we believe there need to be very specific, as it is a lot of research that now going into make bike in different way for what concern their link and system, and for sure it cannot be just one damper that can fit everybody and every single bike. So after we could go into very detailed technical stuff that I don't think we are going to solve this in 10 minutes.
No, we won't. But if we could maybe just summarize, when you first visited me, I think it's 8 years ago, and when I got on your damper on the Specialized demo bike, there was a very, very different and specific feel to your damper compared to any other shock I'd ridden ever before in my life. So could you tell me, there must be some basics here which make your idea on suspension different to other people's? Could you, there are some basics, right?
But the basic it is that we are working on the quality of the damping characteristic. So we are not talking about the quality of the damper, okay? Quality of the damping. So what the damper somehow develop while it's moving, it has to have certain characteristics. So for us, the low friction is very important. The low pressure, if you remember, we were the first one to be able to run damper with very low pressure. No cavitation, to have a very, very quick response from the system in terms of releasing force, because at the end of the day, a damper, what it's doing while it's working is producing force. This force is used to help the full bike to handle in a certain way. If you can do the correct damping characteristics, the correct damping coefficient, you will have a better handling bike and a happier rider and a more safe riding. Yeah. So hysteresis for us is one of the most important things that we try to control all the time, to have it as low as possible. Obviously, doing this choice, we have made something that is somehow very different to the other, okay? And it's not that the other couldn't do it, but the other made different choice, okay? So for example, everybody always asks, oh, but your damper doesn't give a lot of adjustment range. I said, but do you need more? Or is just because you compare with that? Yeah, because we compare. I said, but the important thing is that you get the one that you need when you ride your bike. If you need, 4 or 5 click to get a good setup and a good handling, why I should give you 15 or 25, So it is all made for the need. So basically this, why we run low pressure is because we control very well the different pressure in the damper, what you normally call balance pressure. So if all the chambers that you have are working into a kind of a percentage between one and the other, you will have a very good damper that it will be very efficient. Also our damper get very hot when they're working. People said, oh, they get hot. Yeah, they get hot because they're doing what they should do. They are working, they're getting force, and this force is coming, and at the end of the day, it's hot. The important thing is hot and it stay with this type of consistent level, and this is what they're doing. So I will say this is what we make, that in some of this area are for sure different to what the other are making.
I think
it's a question of choice.
Yeah, and I think for the people watching this video, I think one of the key characteristics when you ride an EXT shock is the levels of grip. They are, there is a difference in grip when you ride an EXT shock. There's also a difference in the way you move your bike. So there is a certain element of rider adaptation to take into mind here. But Franco, can you ever have imagined when I came down to see you, I think it was 8 years ago in northern Italy, and we were riding the bikes on the downhill track, I don't think either of us would have imagined the rise of e-bikes in the past 6 years, right? It is the mountain bike landscape has changed insanely. So to summarize so far, we are looking at a new shock which is more durable. It can deal with a wide range of weights. It has a little bit more adjustability. It has the lockout. It has the hydraulic bump stop. And what else? I mean, we're talking about individual springs as well, which are available up to £800.
Have individual, yes, it will still be sold with 2 different springs.
Yeah, and this will be aftermarket for, obviously quite a wide range of bikes and fittings, right?
Yes, but all the trunnion, all the metric, and we will offer with also the option where it's possible to be fitted. For example, on the Nikolai bike, it can be fitted with a spherical bearing. Okay. So just to improve even more, the performance and also the reliability of the damper and the bike.
And what about the cost of the damper and the spring?
The damper, honestly, I don't remember, but I think it is around 870 euro, 880 euro, something like this.
To listen to the full in-depth chat with Franco on the new Storia, look out for it on the channel soon.
Well, we're exploding into where in the world this week with action from something closer to home, Chris.
Yeah, this is Phil with his Cube Reaction Hybrid. He's out in Nude Reservoir in the Brecon Beacons. Is that how you pronounce that one, Steve?
I have never, ever in my life heard that before. Nude Reservoir.
Could be a local skinny dip in hotspot. You never know.
Oh, man, that's hilarious. I think you'll find it's called Naya, not Nude. Honestly. Genius, absolute genius, love that. Now, Chris has been at Helvellyn in the Lake District on his Levo. Pretty whiteout conditions there. That's definitely somewhere that's on our list of places to go, Chris.
Definitely.
And then Bastian.
Yeah, he's out on his 2018 Kenevo out on the German lakes, having an amazing ride. Look at that epic sunset there in the background. Just looks like he's dropped into the grass there, put his bike down. Real natural shot. Love that one.
Yeah. And final chat this week is from Alistair out on Lagan Wolf Tracks. Boo! In Scotland, exploring with a friend around Kinlochleven. Nice. Wow. It's got a lot of snow around in the UK.
There is.
Isn't there?
Yeah, I love seeing all these recent shots. We've had some bangers coming into the Where in the World. So keep them coming and make sure you use the upload service.
Yeah, and don't go nude. Now, coming up on the channel this week, Chris is looking at how to buy the very best E-mounted bike. And Chris is actually in Raceco right this minute, Chris, right?
I am, yeah. Lovely spot. You need to check it out for sure.
Yeah. And then Sunday, we are taking a look at the new Kona Remote E-mounted bike, 160mm travel. And then Monday, it's all about gearing. Do you actually need big range gearing on your E-mounted bike? Or can, 1142 cassettes do the job? And this is following on from Chris's great video on 8-speed a few weeks ago.
Right, it's time for comments and questions, and we've had a load of great feedback from you guys in regards to our last show where we looked at are e-bikes agile?
Are they?
Are they? I think they are. Depends what type of bike you're riding. But Jack,
I think Chris Smith certainly makes e-mounted bikes look agile, that's for sure.
I think Jap has got the right idea here. He says, personally, I like the weight, just as Chris mentioned at speed on a chunking fast section, this is where the weight helps. I think the perfect weight for an e-mounted bike is somewhere between 44 to 46 pounds. I think you bang on there, Jap.
Yeah, and SW Henderson says, I'm used to throwing around a 220 pound motocross bike, so throwing around a 52 pound EMTB is nothing. And yes, SW, that comes off the back of, our comments about the likes of Ken Roxon or Tony Bow. That really does show you what you can do with a two-wheel off-road bike.
Definitely. Kieran Patel here, he says, I only noticed the weight trying to bunny hop on the flat and putting it into the car. Full fat Levo is incredible and I wouldn't change it for anything, except perhaps the S-Works version.
Yeah.
Nice.
So yes, folks, thanks for those comments. It's great to know what you guys think of some of the videos and the content we put out on EMBN. It gives a totally different perspective on things. So yeah, keep those comments coming. Now, a shop shout out, folks. And no, we're not talking about clothing, but thanks to the guys at Raceco Cycles for hosting us on Chris's upcoming how to buy the best e-mounted bike. But I guess on the subject of shopping, don't forget to visit the EMBN shop where you can get hoodies, t-shirts, and as Chris mentioned last week, some wind cheaters.
Right, it's time for the climb of the week, and we've got some great images as well as some video here from Austin. He's out on the YT Decoy and a Specialized Levo hardtail out at Cader Idris up on Snowdonia. Ascending our favourite mountain in Snowdonia, bloody hard going, but well worth the efforts for the stunning views. And just taking a look through some of these pictures, looks like you've had an absolutely epic day out way up on the mountain there. Look at that. Nice. Chris,
I'd actually stick to the Icelandic or the Finnish translations and leave the Welsh ones alone. But yeah, that's... but Cader Idris.
I think I'll leave them to your capable hands, Steve.
Yeah, what a spot. We went there and visited on the white bikes last summer on our trip from North Wales to South Wales. So folks, any of you looking for an adventure, then highly recommend Cader Idris to put on your bucket list.
Right, it is Bike Vault time where me and Steve get to cast our critical eyes over your pride and joys to see if you're going to get a super nice or a nice. What have we got, Steve?
Well, I did not expect this, Chris. We're kicking things off with Adam with his new Kenevo SL Expert. That's hot off the beach in Sydney. Sydney's northern beaches there. That is super nice, Adam. Absolutely super nice.
Definitely. Yeah. Definitely. Well, check this one out. This is James here with his Commensal Meta Power out in Walnut, California, USA. Submitted my bike for the Bike Vault with this banger, and it is an absolutely epic shot, isn't it? Look how nice that bike looks. That chrome finish, tractor tyres, bit of colour coded going on. It's got to be a super nice.
Yes, and we're following Super Nice with this from Robert and a Santa Cruz Bullet up on Ben Chonsey in Scotland. And I love this shot. I love the colours in this. This is a perfect example of a great bike vault submission. Robert, love the background, love the bike there. It's a classic, absolute classic, and it is definitely a Super Nice.
Nice. Well, I thought when I first saw this shot, Steve, I thought it was where we shot up in the overlooking the Y, but it's not, is it? Do you know the spot I mean?
I know what you mean, but this is in Quebec.
It's a little bit further away, isn't it?
It's a little bit further west than the Y Valley, I have to say.
But this is Robert with his giant Trans E+2 and Quebec, Canada. Mountain trails are now open following winter, so he's been out there getting a few laps in. I think that's a nice shot there for sure.
Yeah, and this is a nice shot too from Joseph out in Temecula, California. It's great to see that the Californians in that's intense territory, Aaron Gwyn territory there. I know those hills pretty well. It's a great spot. Yeah, and this is a Surface Shred 604. That's a lovely bike. It's a nice shot there, Joseph. Maybe try and get the bike under the horizon in future, and it'll be upgraded, should we say?
And talking of under the horizon, we've got a great shot here from Neil with his Santa Cruz Heckler. He's out on the Hill of Fair in Aberdeenshire, Scotland. Stunning views from the hill, about to shred a black run down it for the third time. That looks like an amazing spot to ride way up in the hills there. Bike's looking on point, nice helmet and goggles in there as well. That's got to be a Super Nice.
And from the Hill of Fair to the Isle of Wight and Paul's Turbo Levo 2019 with like a Zeb fork up front there. It's close, isn't it, Chris? It's close.
It is a close one, isn't it?
Borderline. It's a borderline Super Nice, but it's a nice shot. And finally, Neil's Cube Reaction Hybrid SL 65 out in Horsham in West Sussex. Nice to see a hardtail in the mix there, isn't it?
It is, isn't it? Yeah. What do you think on that? I think it's got to be I think I like the background in that shot. I'm going to give that one a Super Nice to end out the bike vault. But what is going to take Bike of the Week this week, Steve, for you?
For me, I think, Chris, it's got to be Robert and the Santa Cruz Bullet up on Ben Chonsey. It's a fantastic shot, and also a location that I'd certainly put on my list of places to go to for sure.
Definitely, I think there's some good colours going on in that shot for sure.
Yeah.
Nice.
And that's it from this week's EMBN show. Thanks for joining us. Please let us know your thoughts on EXT's new E-Storia damper and any questions you got for the guys out there north of Italy in terms of availability and fitting for your e-mounted bike. High-end bit of kit, and it's great to see.
Definitely. Well, give us a thumbs up if you've enjoyed today's show. Make sure you subscribe to us here on EMBN to make sure you're not missing out. And we shall see you next week. Cheers.